Hell, I almost forgot where my camera was, because everything's different now. We slightly moved things. So, hi everyone, I'm Hannah.
I'm Jake.
And,
sort of a semi-angle, I have a hourglass. I'm gonna play with it constantly.
Please don't.
Don't move it. It's mine now, I like it a lot.
It's
giving me a lot of confidence.
It's mine.
Yeah, but it's the table decor. It's making me feel very fancy, and I needed that.
Okay, whatever you say. Anyway, today, it's so weird that I'm normally looking here, so when I went to go to look in, like when I want to mug at the camera, now I gotta look at your face.
Not really. I'm not the camera. Anyway, so, we watched a movie, and it's,
What's it like out there?
It's chaos.
Lock up the weapons in the safe now.
This was a movie that I thought maybe you know those TV dramas like 911 or
Rescue 911 with William Shatner.
I'm William Shatner. I'm William Shatner. I'm William Shatner. I'm William Shatner. I'm William Shatner. I'm William Shatner. I'm William Shatner. I'm William Shatner. I'm William Shatner. I'm William Shatner. I'm William Shatner. I'm William Shatner. I'm William Shatner. I'm William Shatner. I'm William Shatner. I'm William Shatner. On Rescue 911.
Rescue 911 or 911 or 911 The Big Easy, I think is a thing, or 911 Texas, or the ER. There's also like a firefighter one that I think is just called Firefighters. They've run out of ideas at the network television shows. Basically, this felt like the production value of one of those without any of the charming, hot actors they usually get for network TV shows, or any of the stakes.
God has forsaken us.
Jimmy!
Leave me alone, Sophie! Leave me alone!
Jimmy!
He deserves to die! Who is responsible for it? Huh? Who's responsible? You know who? God is! God is responsible!
It was very, very poor.
Oh god, okay, so for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, you clicked on this video blindly without reading the title for some reason. We watched The Reliant. Now,
Kevin Sorbo's The Reliant.
Now,
I'll have you know.
Here's the thing, we've done plenty of movies with Kevin Sorbo. Obviously, he's the star, and I don't mean he's not a co-star, he is the star of God's Not Dead, fuck Josh, or whatever that kid's name is.
I want to make this clear. In that classroom, there is a God, and yet I'm him. I'm also a jealous God, so do not try to humiliate me in front of my students.
And Kevin Sorbo's been sort of riding this Christian movie wave for the past decade or so.
He's a very Christian man, so I
sure.
mean, you know.
And somehow the movies keep getting worse. We've been doing this for quite a while at this point, and usually the movies are at least entertaining, but I cannot begin to explain to you people the depths of boredom that struck me in the middle of this movie.
Amazing grace in 4-part harmony. That's the most beautiful sound in the world.
Oh, you're so spiritual.
Amazing grace. How sweet the sound.
Right? We could really bust some bad guys with that kind of grace, huh?
You know how bored I got? In the middle of this movie, I've had an IKEA shelf I've been meaning to put together for like a month. Did it in the middle of this movie. That's how bored I was.
Nice.
I started assembling a goddamn shelf. Much more entertaining than the movie.
I actually went through and cleared emails.
Yeah. So, here's the thing. The cover of this movie says Kevin Sorbo, and clearly on the posters, he is the star.
Yeah.
Now, this is
He's in the trailers as the star, too. He's like, you stay away. I'm gonna protect my family. I'm Kevin Sorbo.
This is akin to 2013, 14, whatever it was, Godzilla, where you're like, oh, Bryan Cranston, fresh off of Breaking Bad.
They did a better job there. He was in, like, a good quarter of the movie.
He wasn't even in a quarter. He was in maybe 15% of that movie.
I took notes.
Oh, and why?
So
there was absolutely nothing happening.
So we're gonna go through these notes, okay? Because they're hilarious to me because a lot of them are just question marks.
Yeah.
I literally wrote LMAO multiple times. So,
real quick though, can I just point out?
Yeah. The preface of this movie. Well, by the way, did we watch the trailer here or did we watch it somewhere else? But
I want to talk about the trailer.
I think we watched it live, maybe.
Maybe. I want to talk about it a little bit. The trailer for this movie, again, makes it seem like Kevin Sorbo is the star, and it makes it seem like the movie is like Antifa has destroyed the world, and it is a post-apocalypse movie where Kevin Sorbo has to use his Second Amendment rights to save his family.
National Guard and local responders are overwhelmed in the bigger metropolitan areas.
Maybe we're overreacting, just...
That was in our neighborhood.
Get everyone in the car.
Cash my office now.
The whole town's on fire. The police are retreating. We have prepared for this. We will survive.
The world is falling apart.
Don't get me wrong, that isn't not the movie, but it isn't the movie.
No.
So, first thing we find out is that the Boz is back.
Oh.
You guys remember the Boz from football?
Help me! Somebody help me, please! Help me! Dude, stop!
Okay, sir.
Help me! Her name is Faith.
I think he was also in that movie we did with Samwise
He was
Gamgee.
He was in the movie.
Do You Believe, I think it was called?
Yeah, he was a guy, but it didn't matter because the Boz has a heavy starring role. He was apparently more affordable than Kevin, which makes sense. He's the Boz. So, this is... Okay, by the way, were you confused about the child situation?
What do you mean?
Okay, so here... I guess I'm gonna do the beginning, and we don't need to talk about it really. But beginning is the Boz, drunk driver. His kid has a broken fucking head. Apparently, he walked to the ER. Whatever. Maybe they were close. I don't care.
Wait, did you expect him to drive the car into the waiting room?
No, I expected the ambulance to bring them, but instead he walks into the ER and is like, "We rolled our car over." What the fuck ever. Don't care. So, they go in. Kevin Sorbo,
Dr. Kevin Sorbo
channels his douchebag from God's Not Dead and is like, "You're obviously a drunk piece of shit. Arrest this man." And a cop is nearby, takes the kid off to surgery. Spoiler, she dies off camera. Her name is Faith.
My God.
No, you don't get to, because I was sitting there and I'm going to go, oh, is she an allegory for his faith in God? Yes, the answer is yes.
Don't worry.
But not only that, wait. She died, but guess what happened? Did you catch this?
Yeah.
This is why I was confused, because I actually didn't know.
I catch what happened.
So,
his wife... Twist, though. Are we going to twist this?
It's not a twist.
The twist at the end of the movie...
It's not a twist.
...is Kevin Sorbo also named his daughter Faith?
But that wasn't a twist. We were supposed to know that.
Were we?
That wasn't a twist. They didn't shoot it like a twist. They didn't deliver it like a twist.
Were they calling her Faith throughout the movie?
Okay, so yes. So here's...
Oh, I was not paying any attention to this
you're dumb. Here's what happens.
Movie.
So literally, because 5 minutes later, and this is amazing. I laughed out loud. So... After the kid dies, there's a throwaway line where the nurse says, "Kevin Sorbo, your wife's in labor. You don't have to be here." And he's like, "It'll just take a second. A child's life is at stake." So he fails.
Yeah.
He fails. Bad doctor. Kevin Sorbo, there's a standoff with the cop.
I have to go with him. No, I have to go with him.
You leave the scene of an accident.
My daughter's hurt back there and I need to be there.
No, hey, if you don't calm down, I will put these on you.
Look, I don't have time for this. Back off. Back off.
Hey, you pull that trigger and you will never see your daughter again.
You will see tomorrow.
Bosworth goes to prison, doesn't matter. Years later, we have this whole family thing. They're doing a thing, it doesn't matter, they're being very white. Antifa is rioting. But is it Antifa?
No, here's the thing.
It isn't Antifa.
Let me talk about this for a little bit.
This is on the TV behind the chess for some reason.
The trailers made it seem like this was going to be and it is a right-wing movie, obviously, but they made it seem like they were going to be like, Antifa's destroying America.
The bad guys are right-wing.
It's confusing, the situation they've set up. It seems a little bit like the Purge setup. I don't know if you've actually seen the Purge movies.
Of course.
They're in the house, and they're seeing stuff happening on the TV outside.
I thought they were going to last man standing in the house for a lot of the movie.
Sure.
Nope.
It seems like there's some sort of civil unrest brewing all around the world. They're very vague about why, but we find out that specifically within the town that they live, there's been a big layoff at the factory that everyone works at, and that has caused not just rioting, but it has caused indiscriminate murder to break out amongst those who are rioting.
Across the country. This is just one of the economic... So they're saying an economic downturn due to rampant capitalism and deregulation has caused anarcho-libertarians to rise up, form biker gangs, grow facial hair, and grab guns. These are clearly not soy boy Antifas.
It's so strange to me, specifically because the movie doesn't set up the fact that this is happening all over the world very well, and it doesn't really make sense even within the internal logic of the movie why this would be happening
It's not all
everywhere.
The world, it's the country.
I legit thought there might be a clever twist at the end of the movie where they go back and they're like, oh yeah, there was a riot for a couple days and the police stopped it. You've been out in the woods for no reason, you fucking weirdos.
M. Night Shyamalan's The Village too.
Yeah, basically. Because that seems like the situation from the way they set it up. People storm a supermarket, and this is where the entire budget of the movie went, by the way, because it's bad action, but it's a low-budget film, so I get that.
I thought it was a hardware store.
Whatever, it was a hardware store, whatever the fuck
guns,
it was.
for sure.
Okay.
By the way, Eric Roberts was there for 120 seconds, maybe?
That's a Doctor Who reference.
Eric Roberts is?
Eric Roberts was the master.
I can hear your thoughts, Doctor. I can feel your memories.
Oh, yeah. Oh, like the 8th Doctor movie.
Yeah.
I had purged that. Eric Roberts...
I choose to pretend that Eric Roberts Snake the Master. It turns out he just had, in that episode with David...
No one cares about this.
I care. Fuck you. I'm half of the show. Okay. You know that episode where a character gets memory imprinted and thinks they're the Doctor?
Yes.
I'd like to think that's what happened, and it was just actual Eric Roberts got hit with one of those memory things from the Cybermen, and he thought he was the Master, and people are like, Eric Roberts, what are you doing?
Okay, to bring everybody else back, Kevin Sorbo gets to kill some people immediately. He does some John Wick gun fu.
I feel like you're disrespecting John Wick quite a bit by comparing.
John Wick was pretty great. All three of them are great. Third one might be the best. It's absolutely nuts. We watched it together and we went, ooh, like a million times.
Yeah,
very good movie.
Movie. They're making a TV show too.
Yeah, well, I don't think this is going to get picked up for a TV show. The Reliant, the series, is not happening, I don't think.
Because the first episode would be like, oh, there's action going on. Okay, this might be entertaining in a bad B-movie kind of way. And then the rest of the series is hanging out in the woods and talking about guns and God.
So it was really weird. Kevin Sorbo is in a parking lot with, it doesn't matter who these characters are. It really doesn't. One of them's a fiance to his daughter.
Oh,
another one's his kid.
There's more setup before this even...
Do we need more setup?
Yes, before things go to shit.
Oh yeah, the gun! And he's upset! And you're like, why? And guess what I wrote down?
I gotta explain it first. Hold on. So, before this, we set up sort of our main cast of characters. Kevin Sorbo is the patriarch of this family, but there are various children. I don't know their names, don't ask me. One of the children is getting married. Was the daughter or
Sophia.
whatever you know their names? Goddamn. Anyway.
Only because during it, I was thinking about The Walking Dead, where they, for 3 seasons, went, Sophia!
Okay.
But I don't know any of the other kids' name. Billy, maybe?
Who knows?
Sammy?
Either way, one of these kids is getting married soon, and
Sophia!
they're all very excited about that. And it's one of the other kids' birthdays, and clearly this is a very pro-gun family, not only for probably hunting, but also for self-defense and things like that. And that's a discussion to have another day. I don't know,
and
whatever.
for their constitutional rights, goddammit.
But it's hilarious because they get one of the kids a gun for a birthday, and the girl she's a libtard cuck.
She's kind of a libtard.
Or some shit.
She's the second most religious person in this family, and she's just anti-gun. By the way, for a very fucking good reason, but I'm gonna save that for later because I called it.
I forgot.
I called it. I didn't write down the exact reason, but I was like, why are they so mad? I wrote down that And so he gets the gun, and the girl is very, very upset about that. And she's like, on his birthday even? And it's like, who knows? So they're mystery boxing us. David Moffat. So, anyway.
She's very anti-gun.
Back to Kevin Sorbo shooting people. They get back home. They're like, get in the car. Apparently we missed a bit in the middle, but we just show that later. We retcon.
That's because it's a twist?
It's kind of a twist. It doesn't matter.
This movie tries to twist you, but it's never something that makes sense for it to be structured in a twist way.
There's another twist coming. But anyway, so we end up getting to the house because none of the other stuff matters. There's a little bit of violence. They drive. They get home, and then he goes, we prepare. They're shooting. They're killing people in town. We've prepared for this. Get your bug out bags. Like... yeah, that makes sense. I believe Kevin Sorbo has bug-out bags.
Someone saw Doomsday Preppers. They know what's up. He has like a trailer probably full of canned food and more guns. But here's the part. He's like, where's the key to the gun safe?
Sophia hid it in her fucking jewelry box. It's a little key.
That's a twist.
By the way, the only key to the gun safe is just around where people can move it.
It's okay, the family has no history of gun violence that would cause them to be protective over their guns and gun safes.
Of course not.
Brian Bosworth and his Mad Maxian gang of right-wing hunters show up.
It's so weird. And there's the guy with the cowboy hat and the beard. So they're shooting people.
And Brian Bosworth's like, don't shoot the kids.
Don't shoot the kids. But here's the part you missed. Because you thought that Kevin Sorbo's faith was his faith. Do you not remember this moment? He takes aim, and he's sweeping through with the scope. It's like,
I remember.
Baboosh. And then he sees the girl, Kevin Sorbo's faith, and next to her
is the ghost of
his other faith ghost.
Yeah.
That's when I knew, because I wrote down, Sorbo stole a guy's kid? No. He actually just named his own child after the dead kid he just failed to save.
How did that discussion go? Hey, honey.
It was the same day.
I know, but how did that discussion go? Hey, honey, you know, I know we've been thinking about names for our daughter that you've had inside of your uterus for 9 months. I know we were thinking Gwen or something, but I just totally dropped the ball and killed this little girl named
Time
Faith.
for a redo!
Could we maybe name our daughter after this child I just malpracticed to death? Maybe not.
He's such a Midwestern hunter, I'm surprised he didn't rename the kid Ope.
Okay, so Brian Bosworth and his gang start shooting up people, and all the while, by the way, this movie has a lot of obvious pro-gun stuff, and Kevin Sorbo's like, I have the right to defend my family with my guns. Kevin, have you considered, and again, I don't want to get into a whole gun discussion, because I'm not even, I don't know, but it never occurs to him, like, if we had stricter gun control, the people attacking my house would not be doing so with these guns.
The bad guys are going to get the guns. Well, the bad guys, not only could they get the guns legally, and most of them seem to have purchased them before this riot. Like, it's not like they weren't waiting on concealed carry permits. They had the guns in their trucks very clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, some of them have fucking, like, holsters and shit. You don't happen upon a holster. Basically, there's a gunfight, and Kevin Sorbo's budget, I mean, they paid him his paycheck, and he's like, you get me for this exact amount of time. I'm only going to do this many takes. I am done, but I have to die in a gunfight. I need that footage for my what do they call that? The blank reel? The something to send to agents.
Your demo reel.
The demo reel. I need that. So, and then he gets shot a couple times, and he dies.
Terrible squibs.
Bad squibs. His whole family watches, including his wife at one point, is on the ground and looks over and sees his dead body and can't muster a tear.
No.
Could be the shock.
Here's the thing. Kevin Sorbo's an executive producer on this, and I assume he lent his
chops.
I was gonna say chops, but that's
chops.
Not right. I assume he lent them to this so it would have more marquee value for Christian viewers. Like, oh, Kevin Sorbo, he was in God's Not Dead. He's on the cover. He's very prominent in the cover. Oh, I'll go see this. But then he bows out in like the first 10 minutes, and it's like, Oh, God.
You know what?
What?
I think if he was in the bulk of this movie doing survival shit in the woods, I'd watch that movie.
Probably. It would have been funny, at least.
I'd watch Kevin Sorbo, like, rub mud on his face. Like, I feel like Sorbo goes into the woods if he's doing a survival movie.
You want him to third act Predator, Arnold Schwarzenegger covered in mud.
Yeah, but I also think
traps.
But I also think he watched Man vs. Wild and Survivor Man and thought, Kevin Sorbo can do this. He speaks in the third person. Kevin Sorbo can do this. So he walks out, takes his shirt off. He's got that old man I used to be fit body, which is almost worse than just always not being fit, I think. Schwarzenegger has the thing going on too. I would have watched that movie. I would have watched him drink his own pee. I would have watched him skin a rabbit for no reason, and everybody be like, that's a real rabbit, Kevin. And eat raw shit like Leo in The Revenant.
Yeah. So that ends the entertaining part of the movie, for lack of a better word.
So there's about 20 minutes after this that the kids, so Sophia, a nameless daughter who's, Annalie? Did I get it? I might have gotten it.
I don't know.
Another kid who I think is theirs.
All these kids are terrible actors.
Oh yeah, and Faith too. They're in the woods. Oh, and the kid that got the gun for his birthday. They're in the woods. They argue about shit. Literally, we flash forward to a month. I don't know why.
For like 10 minutes, I was like, oh man, when is this going to get to the next part? And then as it kept going on, it slowly dawned on me,
this is
the rest of the movie.
Yep.
The worst part is they're in the woods and it cuts forward a month.
Why does it cut forward a month?
You can see that there's been
a
prolonged struggle that they've had to go through.
Okay, but the interesting part of them escaping is them running through the woods with people on their fucking tail, then them losing, then them starting the camp, right?
Sure.
It's interesting to watch kids who maybe you can show the progression of how their dad taught them to survive, and you can go do flashbacks with Kevin Sorbo being like, here's how you make a spear, here's how you shoot a bow and arrow. Like, that would be interesting if Kevin Sorbo...
You're describing the book or movie Hatchet.
The book Hatchet is a good movie and could be co-opted by right-wing fascists trying to move their agenda towards a more Second Amendment-prone government. Yes.
Hatchet didn't have a gun, he had a hatchet. That was
exactly. Well, his name wasn't Hatchet, but thank you for considering the boy Hatchet.
I was like 9 when I read that. I don't know.
Book though, still a good book. They also did The River, which is when he goes back to take the lawyer down to the place where he did that, but lightning strikes the lawyer, and so now he has to use his hatchet skills and survival skills that he learned in the wilderness to save not only himself but the lawyer.
They also did an alt history, I guess, alt version of Hatchet where it's like, what if he had to stay through the winter?
There's also another one called, I think, Avalanche or something like that, where another kid, totally different kid, gets caught in an avalanche and ends up he's upside down, or no, he's not upside down, but he's stuck in the woods. And
he's like Luke Skywalker.
And he had just killed some pheasants, and he has to eat the pheasants raw, and then he has to pretend to move. Like to keep his feet from dying in the cold. Very good book also. I read that in like 4th grade. Probably not good now. Anyway, this was nothing like those books. It was terrible. They didn't show any of that. They could have done a lot of cool survival stuff. Like, you're in the woods. Show us how to survive. I don't care. Do me your Second Amendment propaganda and show me how useful guns are. Nope. Pretty much guns are used to show how irresponsible you could be by shooting them off angrily during a religious tirade.
And accusing me of falling asleep. Well, was God asleep? Or how about when Becca was... Sorry, it was the gun's fault.
Here's the thing, and again, I'm fully willing to hear out pro-gun talking points, and I'm not even necessarily anti-gun, I'm anti-very lax gun regulations, but I'm in favor of people being able to have certain guns for defense, and hey, you can't seize the means of production with a knife. Anyway... So
sure you can,
but
as long as they're at close range.
But the point is, I'm completely willing to hear out people who are very, very pro Second Amendment and don't want any regulation whatsoever. I disagree with them, but I'm willing to have that conversation. What made this movie completely, oh god, it was horrible to watch was because all the arguments, they're not couched in like, hey, here's why guns are good, and they even had the perfect setup to do so. Like, hey, the world is coming to an end, society has collapsed, we need these to survive.
So the only argument that you have for guns being good is in an apocalypse, right?
We need them to survive, to hunt, and possibly for protection from marauders.
Fallout.
But that's not what the movie does. The movie does this disgusting thing where they couch every argument in religion, and they're like, Jesus said he was coming with a sword. Are you better than God? Here, take this gun.
Jesus told his disciples to buy a sword, just for self-defense.
2 of them.
I just don't understand your aversion to defending yourself.
It's fucking disgusting. I'm like, I'm not even a Christian. I haven't been a Christian since, middle school. But even I was like, he also said to turn the other fucking cheek. And,
toward the other opponent. Because you want to make sure that you have a level base, okay? You don't want to lower the gun, because if you turn a corner and the gun's not up already, you're going to get one tapped in the head, and then they're going to loot your body and take all your gear back when they go to the evac. I've been playing Escape from Tarkov recently. It's a good video game.
It made me so grossed out that they were taking, Jesus' message of, peace and love and being like, but he came with a sword, let's shoot our enemies.
To be fair.
This movie is soaking, and I don't know how much you were annoyed by this, but I hate this shit. So much macho dick measuring. Oh, we're gonna point guns at each other and be...
Pathetic. You're all pathetic. Move.
I like that in some movies where it's it's very self-aware that it's macho dick wagging, right? There are movies like that where it's not a virtue, right? This movie says, no, when you point a gun at somebody, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We talked about...
John Wick doesn't killing people.
I was gonna say, we watched John Wick. I love the John Wick movies. But, he's just an assassin and he doesn't like doing what he's doing. It's just kind of a fact of it. It's, embarrassing to be like, oh, I got a gun and I got a big dick and I'm gonna shoot ya. Yeah. It's embarrassing.
So they go back home. Sophia and, Billy or some shit. He's got guns. You see him. And they go back, best part of the movie. Do you know why? Do you know why this is the best part of the movie? It's not because Kevin Sorbo was here, gone. Eric Roberts was here, gone. The boss is on screen before, middle, and after. Doesn't matter. This is the best part of the movie.
I know this is the part where they revealed the sister.
No, fuck the reveals. It has nothing to do with plot. Okay. They go upstairs. Okay? They do some other stuff. Some other stuff happens. And then another character arrives, and they go upstairs, and there's a random karate guy upstairs, and he does all the karate at this guy.
Oh, yeah!
He just does doing karate!
I forgot.
Why is karate guy there? He doesn't have a gun. He just does. He's roundhouse kicking fuckers, and he's like stabbing dudes. It's nuts.
Completely forgot an integral plot point, and that is that one of the family members, the brother, is a fucking weeb, and he has a sword. He has a
maul sword.
He has a maul sword that specifically during the bug out scene, he's like, I gotta go get my sword, and he literally goes inside and gets his samurai sword to defend the family.
That kid should have been a nerd. He should have been the nerd.
And the worst part is it works. Yep. He uses the sword multiple times in the movie, and he carries it around like he's a fucking anime character. It's so bad.
But he doesn't get to fight the karate guy. Imagine a karate fight between him with the katana and random closet karate man.
Yeah.
So that happens.
This is also, and again for plot purposes, we find out the sister stole the key to the gun safe.
Oh yeah, because
and they're
she's
like,
a libtard. It's fine.
And they're like, oh, if you hadn't stolen that key, we could have saved Dad.
You got assaulted by 40 people with rifles. You were fucked. So
yeah. Turns out if good guys can have guns, bad guys can get guns.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah. So they go back. They're done doing that. Then they have another argument. I thought this was the best fucking thing. So, the one kid is crying, the littler kid, the young boy, And the other sister, who is just there to preach and sing at people for no fucking reason. She literally, I think in her contract, I have to sing 2 to 3 songs or I'm not doing this. Because I can sing. I'm a good singer and people gotta know. Again, it's for my reel. They gotta know. So anyway, she's talking to the kid and she goes, in the most white privilegey bullshit I've ever heard in my life, you remember when our green go-kart died? You remember when it broke? And the kid goes, yeah, yes! And she goes, do you remember, were you sad when that happened? No. By the way, in context, they're talking about their dead father. And then she goes,
I didn't feel...
Why weren't you sad? And he goes, 'cause Dad was gonna buy us a new one. Or she does. One of them says that. And then she says this as a metaphor for like, well, Dad's dead, but he's gonna live eternally. He gets a new one when Jesus, 'cause Jesus... Your dad's a go-kart. Dad is just a go-kart.
The subtext of this movie that I don't think was intentional
incredible privilege.
Seemed to me to be the global economy has collapsed due to...
I don't read it as global. I read it as the American...
Whatever. Okay, the American government, the American society has collapsed...
But I don't mention anybody else.
Due to ultra-capitalism, and this bougie, rich, white family has to deal with the fallout.
They were fine.
Yeah.
They were fine until guns.
Yeah. Everyone else had lost their job. We never find out what Kevin Sorbo does for a living. His wife...
He's a doctor.
Oh yeah, he is a doctor. So yeah, he does pretty well for himself. And they're all rich and buying each other guns and shit. And they have a nice house. And then everything goes to shit. And it's like,
Yeah.
I don't feel super bad for your kids. You were part of the problem, Kevin Sorbo.
Yeah. Oh, and then they have a line...
He probably voted to lower his fucking property taxes so the nearby school couldn't graduate enough kids to go to college, so they all went to work at the factory that closed and caused them to murder Kevin Sorbo.
He deserved it. So, after that, they go back into the woods. They're in the woods a lot, guys. And
it's 90% of the movie.
Yeah,
and for
low budget.
Anyone who knows low-budget filmmaking, independent filmmaking, the cheapest thing you can do is go into the woods and film some shit.
Blair Witch Project.
Blair Witch Project.
Blair Witch Project 2.
Deadly Prey. Deadliest Prey. Suburban Sasquatch.
Blair Witch. That's just Blair Witch, not Blair Witch Project or Blair Witch 2.
I'd argue most of Neil Breen's movies, except in his geography, the woods is the desert.
I've invented an invisible shield device using satellite lasers, which I can hide objects in a small area so that I can stay in a location for some time without being found. I disappear. I become invisible.
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely.
Because you don't
all the porns I've ever been in.
You don't need a budget to go. You don't need permits to go out there and film.
Nope. Just the call of nature. So they're out there and they say to the libtard kid Sophia, who is easily not very liberal, hey. And again, she has a good reason not to like guns. Hey, looks like you're getting more comfortable with guns, as they ribbit her because they're protecting themselves out in the apocalypse. It's like, well, yeah, if you have to survive in the woods, like the people who wrote the Constitution, you must recall 13 states. What are the rest of those states doing? Being outside.
Yeah.
Not being safe.
Yeah.
Of course they wanted guns. They went camping to survive, not for fun. Camping didn't become a for fun thing until like the late 1800s or something like that. I can't remember. There's a pamphlet.
I was
really
going to say it seems like the 20th century would be about when that happens.
It's a really famous
or
one.
maybe
I think it might have been 1845 actually. But anyway, so or 49ish. Anyway, doesn't matter. Gold Rush. But that happens. We get a weird sponsorship. Did you notice the weird sponsorship?
Wait, let me think.
This is right after that. They're sitting around the fire, and the older son is teaching the younger son how to clean a gun. Right? He taught him how to shoot a gun too, but it doesn't fucking matter. He's sitting down. The little kid's got like a washer, and he's scooping out the insides of the.
Is this the part where she's like, the best sound in the world is microwave popcorn?
It's right before that.
Oh god!
So right before that. I said it terribly. It's a washer. He's scrubbing the inside of the barrel to make sure that there's not residue and stuff. Cleaning the gun and cleans it out. And he goes, "Hey, that's a barrel, buddy. You're one and done. You don't have to keep scrubbing it."
It's a barrel, buddy. Once and done, kiddo.
Oh, okay. Here you go.
And then they do a close-up shot of Barrel Buddy, and it's like cleaning stuff.
Yeah.
So fucking odd. It was worse. There
was another one in the movie, too. I don't know if you noticed. At the very end, or near the very end, we see Kevin Sorbo's wallet, and they open it up, and there's self-defense insurance, but it's very clearly a branded, it's a brand of actual gun insurance you can get.
Very stupid.
And it was, in shot for way too long, and I'm like, this has to be a real thing that's
They
trying
actually do a couple of these things where it's clearly we're supposed to know what it is, but we are so removed from the culture.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when they did those Duck Dynasty cameos for a while and all those things.
Yeah.
I only knew the one guy, and every once in a while there'd be another one, and we'd be like, who is that? And we look it up as a Duck Dynasty person. They actually do this later again. But
I'm a little surprised a Duck Dynasty guy didn't wander through the woods and find their camp and be like, praise Jesus! Do a duck call.
All the gays died. It's a hallelujah. That's what ducks sound like. Anyway, so the fake wedding was weird. The fake wedding curse thing.
The dream.
Yeah,
the
it
nightmare.
was very odd.
Yeah.
Very, very odd. Did you notice what they did here? At one point they decided, boy, is this a white movie. We'll let some black people sing. Come on.
I didn't notice that.
Oh, yeah.
I was probably building the shelf at this point.
You don't see color. That's what it is. So, I can't remember what happens, but I know that the next thing I have down is this. That's the name of the kid. Oh, yeah.
Which kid?
The kid that we're about to talk about, which is the big
Okay.
reveal. So
Okay.
we get a flashback.
Just real quick. Again, remember, this movie is so pro-gun, it's rock hard for them constantly.
Yeah.
And it's talking about how, the Bible wants us to defend ourselves and our Second Amendment rights. They're not even Southern, but it exuded that energy. It's so pro-gun. It's incredibly pro-gun. Everyone should have a gun. They're teaching kids how to use guns, which if you do have a kid and you do have a gun, I'm not even against that. They should probably know about it and know if they're going to handle it at some point, how to handle it safely, and know not to touch it when you're not around, all that stuff. But the movie is just guns, jizz everywhere. Continue.
Okay. Well, there's a flashback. Because you find out... So stupid. So, one of the reasons that the one kid, Billy, maybe, I don't know. One of the gun kid. One of the reasons he was so upset at a certain point is his box gets taken. And he's been made fun of the whole movie twice. For having trinkets and stuff in the box. Basically other mall sword type things, a medallion and shit like that. But a thing we didn't know about as the audience, we didn't know he had a lock of hair from his little sister. A little sister we haven't seen before. Her name is Becca. And so there's a flashback of, I guess she has gum in her hair or some shit. I don't know. So he helps her cut it and they hide it from the parents because, we don't want to get in trouble from the parents.
I think they're twins, maybe?
They might be twins. I'll cut your hair and then I'll get you a hat so you don't have to get in trouble. Which I guess is cute bonding kid stuff. Fuck it. I don't know what kids like. So, but I know what they don't like. And we're about to find out. So Kevin Sorbo, because he works 12-hour shifts at the hospital, you know what I mean? He's providing for his family this beautiful home and these beautiful guns. So he's passed out on the couch because he is sleepy and he's in his scrubs, so you know he's been working. So he comes home, but you know what he never does?
Locks his guns up properly.
I was going to say leaves his family unsafe. And by doing so, leaving his family unsafe. He has a ankle-strapped weapon attached with Velcro around his ankle. The kid walks up to a sleeping Kevin Sorbo, goes, "Whoa, a gun!" And then they go, "What are you doing?" And then you hear bang! And they go, "Oh my God, Becca!" He shot his sister in the face. And later, he says, "Why would God let a little girl take a bullet to the face?" I agree.
Yeah.
They have actually a decent conversation, it doesn't have the outcome I like, but they have a real conversation about
that's the thing, though.
Why God allows evil.
They don't have a good conversation. The guy brings up valid points like, hey, what the fuck?
And
this
she goes,
is all
just
fucked
believe.
Up.
Yeah.
And she's like, faith is the evidence for things not seen. No. Faith is faith.
And then he goes, why would you let our sister get shot in the fucking face with a 9 milli?
Oh, and she's like, oh, it's not our place to be mad about it because God took her to heaven too soon. No, girl. No. Armor. He shot her in the face with a gun. She's dead. And the family's very pro-gun. Pro-gun to the point that they're getting their children guns for birthdays still.
Yeah.
I understand. I'm not even saying if you have a tragedy like that in your life, you should change all your political beliefs about guns or whatever, but like...
You should consider it.
Maybe you'd think the family
wouldn't... Maybe the libs are onto something.
You'd think the family wouldn't be so flippant about their use. They're like, oh, ha, 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 why wouldn't you like guns? Well, I don't know, maybe because your sister got shot in the face with one.
In front of everybody.
And they're so dismissive of any...
It's fucking wild.
No human being behaves this way.
Very strange.
I don't even know why they put this in the movie. I don't understand.
You know what else I don't understand? Why it took Brian Bosworth over a month to find children 20 yards away from their house in the woods.
Okay, this is also the point at which we discover a scene that was missing from earlier as like a twist.
Jesus Christ.
Turns out when Kevin Sorbo was running home from the market or whatever as the riots were starting, he saw Brian Bosworth being attacked by some looters. He gets out of the car.
Caps, motherfuckers!
Saves Bosworth.
One tapped.
Because he remembers Bosworth. And he remembers he didn't save Bosworth's daughter, Faith.
Faith won.
Yeah.
Kevin Sorbo definitely had an erection during this scene.
Bosworth, instead of being thankful that he was just saved by the doctor, decides, I'm going to get a posse together and go and kill Kevin Sorbo and his family. Which honestly shows to me that Kevin Sorbo should have minded his own fucking business and not saved Bosworth, apparently. But whatever. And that's why they came to the house and shot him up in the first place.
Such a stupid thing. Like, you could have easily just had not that happen and had Bosworth just have gotten out of prison for killing his daughter in a drunk driving accident that he left the scene of. And then you could have had... You just could have had him take advantage of the situation.
Yeah.
And be like, well, I'm going to kill this fucking guy. He killed my daughter. He feels like he killed his daughter because he's a doctor and should have saved him. And ruined my life by sending me to prison. That's plenty enough. Like, you don't need more. He could have easily gotten that information. I don't know. It just doesn't make a lot. He could have called the fucking hospital and been like, what's the guy's name? But anyway, so Brian Bosworth steals all their shit. One of the reasons that he's... one of the things was the box with the lock of hair. Steals all their shit from the camp and leaves. Then, at one point, when What's-His-Face leaves because he's mad about the hair, he leaves... catches the teepee on fire. The kid says, oh God, the teepee's on fire. And then they cry when they can't do it. And then the little kid says,
I want to go to heaven and be with Daddy.
Because you know what? And this is a beautiful thing. I don't know why Christians thought this is a good thing. You are instilling the idea of death, and dying, positively to children. And you have experienced this firsthand by thinking, well, if it's better there, I'm going to eat poison. Stop it. So stupid. Oh! Did you want to add anything? Because...
I don't know what I could possibly add to this. It's so fucking stupid.
Oh, we have one more cool thing. 2 more cool things before the end. 2 cool things before the end, okay?
Yeah.
First cool thing. Cameo by famous people we should know that I had to look up.
Oh, were the deputies supposed to be... Because the way they focused on...
Jason Dave!
Let me explain what happens briefly. Okay, so at a certain point, Bosworth comes, and then the sister's like, I'm gonna kill him, whatever. No. They decide not to kill Brian Bosworth. And then
he gets out and steals all their shit.
And then these 2 deputies show up, along with the mother.
The mother is alive.
The mother, it turns out, is alive, and she's teamed up with these...
twins. She's getting spit roasted.
I was gonna say... I didn't want to say it, but I'm like, she's selling her body to these
hotties.
Anyway, so...
Could be worse. Could be 2 Kevin Sorbos.
They're apparently deputies from some society that started to develop somewhere around here that's not
it's been 40
anarchy.
days and we have new society.
Oh, and they gave off such strong Handmaid's Tale energy that I feel like the place they're taking everyone back to is fucking Gilead.
Well, because these 2 are the Benham brothers. The Benham brothers.
Who are they?
They are self-help serial entrepreneurs. Oh yeah. Christian advocates. They do things like, prosperity gospel type self-help books. I don't know. It's not like Joel Osteen like levels, but it's like, they're 2 fit white guys that are also Christians, and aren't we hip? Look at us and how they wrote all these jokes for us in the movie that never land. Calling him and his bandolier of shotgun shells a Christmas tree is a joke they use 3 times in the span of 5 minutes.
And they're deputies, and they like baptize Bosworth.
We're skipping a very funny part of the movie.
Hold on, but just the society that they're rebuilding must be so fucking depressing.
Oh yeah, this they would work perfect in like I don't know, like any post-apocalypse anything. The Walking Dead would be perfect for these guys. They'd be bad guys.
Sure.
I think it'd be very interesting to have 2 religious self-help twins that used to be millionaires trying to self-help a society in a zombie apocalypse. That's kind of funny. But the second best part of the movie is the kid acting like his leg is caught in a bear trap for 20 minutes.
Sophie! Help!
That's pretty good. He just screams a lot. It's kind of like everything. It's basically it was the level of acting he rose to is what we saw in The Rise of Skywalker, the minimum effort that they made John Boyega give by just screaming her name the whole time. Rey! Yeah. That was the level. He was trying his best, and he got to John Boyega wishing Rian Johnson was still writing this trilogy. I like that shit. That's good. It was funny. The bear trap was funny to me.
And then the movie ends, and apparently they go back to rebuild society or whatever on very shaky foundations of conservative Christian gun nut.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah. How many Kevin Sorbos will you give this movie?
I'm gonna give it.
Let's assume. Okay, so
1/2.
A 5 out of 5 Kevin Sorbo is God's Not Dead.
Okay.
Relative to God's Not Dead.
This gets half a month-old Sorbo corpse.
Half a month-old Sorbo corpse?
Yeah. Half of it's been picked off by scavengers and vultures.
I think I can... you don't have to change the graphic you put up for this. Same exact score. It's 1/2. Give me the other half. There, I made more work for you. Give me the other half of Kevin Sorbo's corpse.
Okay.
I want the top or the bottom. It really doesn't matter. It was... Or you could bisect him. It was just really bad. It was... There's a movie there in that concept, and it could still be a Christian film.
Sure.
And it could be God's Not Dead tier. It could be up there.
This was just so...
Was this R-rated?
This was so fucking boring. Let me look. It's probably PG-13.
It didn't come across as R-rated. But, yeah, it was... There were things there that you could explore. Again, I really think if you want to... Let me write a Christian movie, I'll take this back. We'll just do Reliant 2 and I'll make it fucking better. All you gotta do is you gotta get... Name a Christian fella. Sort of a strapping macho Christian fella. It's not Kevin Sorbo because he's used already. What, Dean Cain, maybe?
Dean Cain with a beard? Chuck Norris, but
Chuck Norris? No, Chuck Norris is great. Chuck Norris and Dean Cain. Chuck Norris being the grandfather. Dean Cain being the father, okay? So Chuck Norris...
PG-13.
Yeah. Chuck Norris, okay, is maybe they're over for Thanksgiving or Christmas, reason for the season. Whatever. Make it a very... or Veterans Day. Fuck it. He's a veteran. Bring him over. Have him salute and everything, and Dean Cain shakes his hand really good, and, I'm proud of you, son, and, Dean Cain used to be a military member. Maybe the 3rd generation Dean Cain's son is gonna ship off soon. Not this fucking wedding bullshit. Who gives a shit about that, right?
Dean Cain's a little old to be shipping off fresh.
No, his son.
Oh, okay,
his son,
sorry.
The 3rd generation. Pay attention! This is my elevator pitch. This is very important. We only have moments before we hit the basement. And then you're gone. And this is my opportunity's passed. I need you on this, okay? I need you at your A game. Okay? So, Dean Cain's son, you can have even a sweetheart thing if you need they always need their someone's in love. So
you
we
need
can talk about Jesus.
You need the hetero romance.
You need your heterosexuality.
Yeah.
So, and I think you probably got to add 2 kids, like younger kids, younger than the oldest son. So 4 people, right? Chuck Norris is going to die first. That's fine. You can have him die first. They have to hold the house though, and the last thing he's going to do is he's going to do that very classic "go, I'll hold them off," and he'll die off screen, right, with a deagle or something. Just double deagles. Who cares? In an American flag like tank top. I don't know. Have Chuck Norris kick somebody probably. So that all happens. Then you go out. Dean Cain's out there, but he's been shot, right? He can't help a lot. Okay, so he's going to say, you know what? I here's what I learned in the military. Here's what my pappy taught me. Kids, you gotta be the man of the house now, John, or whatever the fuck his basic ass white bitch name is, right? So Dean Cain's slowly dying, right? But Dean Cain gets to be the wisdom guy, okay? And he's passing down Jesus and Second Amendment and survival, and you can have that. And those kids, eventually, when shit gets rough, the winter's here because it's Veterans Day or Christmas or whatever. It's cold outside. Dean Cain's too much to lift. He's got to stay behind. He's taking too many supplies. He's got too much water. The antibiotics aren't doing the job. He's got to stay behind. So now they're out there in the wilderness. Dean Cain dies. They bury him, right? Okay? That's the top of the second act. Third act, all climax, baby. They've been hunted for months, okay? Hunted. And hunted by who, may you ask? Ask me who.
Who's hunting them?
Black and brown people, obviously. Black and brown people that are speaking not American, okay? Black and brown people not speaking American. One of them, definitely gay with the leader, okay? Like, but it's like soft-spoken. Like, one's just like evil foppish, like Jafar.
It's like a Mad Max Road Warrior thing where he's got,
Yes.
okay.
And then, so, one of the last standoffs, the bad guy is going to hold the 2 kids next to him, right? And then, at some point, we gotta write this in, but at some point, the climax of the movie is the kid, John, the military guy, with his wife-to-be, maybe she's in labor now because it's been so long and she's having their son, but she's far away, right? With, like, maybe a wise old man they met. We have to add a wise old man. He's black, too, because not all black people are bad, but they get to be wise and magical and deliver this baby, right? Or a doula, maybe like a Mexican lady. Who knows? A doula is also a midwife. So anyway, so this is going great, right? So John's there, standoff with the bad guy. They're both bloodied, both at the end. He's got 2 guns to the head, and then something he learned from his dad on how to do a military thing. He's gonna do that thing, kind of like what's that one movie where? Oh no, you didn't see this. It was a thing in Game of Thrones where she drops the blade and stabs the guy. That kind of moment, and then boom,
like with the Night King.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. I wrote that fucking movie.
No, but Jake, don't you understand?
It's a good movie.
You need to have all your budget and action in the first 5 minutes, and then spend an hour and 50 minutes fucking around in the woods, being bored.
We should have an arc.
And then in the middle,
or maybe Dean Cain comes back and it was all a dream. I don't know. Anyway, so that's the end of the movie. I just wanted to pitch you guys something better. You guys were hyped up for that. I know that. I know for a fact you were hyped.
This movie was so shit. I'm so disappointed because the trailers made this look like it was going to be the next, like, really,
I thought
really
they were gonna
great.
fucking blow people away the whole time and, like, justify it with Jesus, which would have been dope.
Yeah, I'm pretty disappointed in Kevin Sorbo right now. He needs to do another God's Not Dead movie.
Seriously, hire us. I'll make your propaganda movie.
Do a God's Not Dead prequel where he's playing Professor Radisson, or he can be playing Professor Radisson.
I really want to do this violent survival movie, but we can also do a God's Not Dead thing. We could do like a Hangover style Christian comedy.
Maybe they'll do a God's Not Dead
4,
and they'll find out Professor Radisson had a twin brother who's in Congress, and this congressman wants to take down the God-loving
you just want Kevin Sorbo.
president.
We can just do a new movie.
I want God's Not Dead 4 to be a movie about impeaching a very Christian president, and Kevin Sorbo is the evil atheist congressperson leading the charge.
Is he gonna get assassinated?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Alright.
This is gonna be end of Civil War comic book on the steps.
This is just us pitching movies.
Yeah.
Now. I think it's over. I think it's probably over.
Because this movie fucking sucked.
It did suck.
Like, even, like, they're entertaining. I picked the wrong one for this. I'm so
No,
disappointed.
people wanted us to do the Reliant.
I know, it sucks. It sucks. It sucks. And not in a fun way. Don't watch this.
Not in a fun way. It wasn't just Kevin Sorbo blowjobs?
No.
I don't know if I'd watch that.
Next time, I gotta vet the movie first. Next time, we're doing something fucking great. I don't know
What's the best Christian movie of all time?
Like, actually good?
Of all time. No. Like,
entertaining?
I don't know, the most widely...
God's Not Dead's pretty up there in terms of entertainment value.
It's not better than, like, Passion of the Christ, though.
Well, that's like that's why I asked. Do you mean like a legitimately well-made movie?
What I'm wondering...
Prince of Egypt is good. 10 Commandments is good.
Yeah, but maybe an older one. 10 Commandments is too long. I'm not watching that.
I like Prince of Egypt quite a bit.
Prince of Egypt is a normal-sized movie, though.
Yeah.
It's not 15 hours long.
Well, then, what do you want?
Somewhere between 15 and 90 minutes. 15 hours and 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the end. Subscribe to the channel. Follow.
Did we do that Sarah's Choice?
Are you looking at a movie?
Yeah. That looks like an abortion movie.
The Quest for God?
The abortion movies tend to be pretty entertaining. Maybe we'll do
the abortions.
Remember the one with we did a while back where it was the women were trapped in a basement. Just
Double dip.
No, that guy made other movies. Remember? Because
he's like the bowl of fucking.
Because he showed his.
Is that how you say it?
He showed part of his other movie in the movie.
That was shit, though.
Of course it was, but it was funny.
God.
Anyway,
find us something good, guys.
This is.
I'm dejected.
So that's it. You can always follow us on Twitter at Papa Bird Jake.
Slapping the fuck out of the
so done.
Well, Hannah reloaded, I believe.
You can support the show on Patreon. Link in the description. You can support my various hormones and operations forthcoming on the link in the description for my GoFundMe. You can
support my hormones, which are just my innate ones, by going to twitch.tv/actualjake, where the gays take over.
You can always send us stuff to this P.O. Box. Please send us good movies, better movies than this.
Oh, God.
I gotta look at Kevin Sorbo's IMDb. Maybe we need to find another good Sorbo movie to...
Just any Sorbo movie?
No.
Because he does some violent, shitty ones. We could branch out. Who knows?
Let me look at his IMDb real quick.
Look at Kevin Sorbo. Kevin Sorbo.
So that's it. That's the end. We're done.